Talking of old school, Graeme Souness has been doing more talking this week, and I don't know. I'm always amazed at why people keep paying him to talk rubbish. I'm serious.
This is the reason.
Yeah, because then we talk about it, right? So for those that don't know, Graeme Souness made some comments on his Free Up Front podcast, where he was asked by Simon Jordan what his thoughts on Arsene Wenger. Oh, and I don't want to paraphrase. I'm going to read it just so but accurate. So Simon Jordan asked him if Wenger is a footballman, and Souness responded, "No, not particularly. I've been on the bench listening to what he's telling his players to do. I've been working for Sky in games where he's made very strange decisions. My take on him was that he got very, very lucky at a time when French football produced its greatest ever group of players, inherited the best back five in world football, okay, and a 22-year-old Dennis Bergkamp. I think Righty as well. I think Righty, there was still life in him. And then he had 10 years where he won a couple of FA Cups because that cycle had been and gone. I've never spoke to him about football. He would never come into my office after a game. The only manager that never did. I wonder why. I'd go to his office after a game. He would never be there to talk football. I don't know if he's a football man or not. I never spoke football with him. But at the start, you said no, not particularly. Where do I start?
Egregious.
It's just crazy.
Nonsense.
And I guess the wider point about it, I mean, there's not much to talk about what Souness said because we all know it's nonsense, right? And his own manager.
There's one thing I think.
I forgot who I was talking to.
No. I'm with you, man. I think he was, in terms of, I'm not going to say lucky, but fortunate with the back five at Arsenal. I'm not saying that, oh my God, he because that is a good...
Can I do a quick counter? Can I do a quick counter?
Yeah, go on.
Why wasn't Rio lucky?
Well, Rio, listen, he was out of it. Let's talk Arsenal now. He was out of his depth there. He's come from Bolton. What I'm saying is that...
but he had the same players.
Okay, so...
So why didn't the fortune...
Let's talk about the same...
And he signed Bergkamp.
Let's still... Well, no, David Dean signed.
No, okay, he was the manager when Bergkamp was signed.
He was. But you look at that back five. Again, I said fortunate. And it works. Sometimes you go to a club and you've got a good nucleus of players, but that back five, that delivered.
You're leaving out so much context.
No, but that delivered with George Graham, that delivered 2 league titles, European trophy. So that's the only thing I'll look at and think, okay, yeah, he was a bit fortunate with that. You've already got a ready-made captain, Tony Adams. A lot of, even the French players will come in and say, yo, when we come in, it was the Arsenal way. We always used to speak to Tony and these guys. These were already born leaders. I'm not saying that Wenger, what he said, he's lucky, but he came into a very steady back four.
Yeah, but a broken clock is right twice.
But what?
So that's my point. He talks a lot of nonsense. He's made one point that could potentially stick.
No, he does. I'm with you.
But I think, the circumstances were fortunate to have that 5, but it just it erases so much of
the
what
work
happened,
Wenger did.
the work and stuff like that happened.
How he elongated their careers, raised their level of performance.
We can always find one thing that he said right, but I just think the whole conversation is just so pointless. It's so spiteful, and it's just completely in line with how he's been. When he doesn't get his way, he says something. We know what he says about Pogba. We know what he said about so many different players. Like when he gets a little bee into his bonnet, he does stuff to make sure that he is clickable.
You know how bad it was?
You said it in the quote.
Yeah. You know how bad it was?
Troy.
Even Troy Deeney was like...
Troy was like, yeah.
And he never said a good thing about... He never said a good thing about... And he was like, I'm waiting for him to land because I don't even know what's going on.
Jordan as well. He doesn't really like particularly like Arsenal or Wenger and them. Yeah. So he was like, what are you talking about?
You know where that one come from.
Yeah, because
the
Palace,
and the ups and...
So I think, just on that point, I think the fortunate thing I can't agree wholeheartedly with, because even to Key's point, Bruce Rioch didn't know what to do with that fortune, right? He's come in, he's put things in place. Even the back five themselves will tell you he elevated their performance with the things he come in and did with the sports science and all of that. Yeah. So fortunate is. It diminishes a little bit, I think, what Wenger achieved with those same 100%. Players.
And that same back four, 2 seasons before, they finished 12th, then they finished 10th, they finished 5th. So as good as that back 4 or 5 were, they weren't performing because the league table doesn't lie.
And then they became double winners.
And I think as well, you got to take into context what each person's version of football is. Graeme Souness' version of football is very different to Arsene
Yeah.
Wenger's version of football.
Yeah.
And like we've kind of had conversations about like ranking managers, etc. But without Arsene Wenger, Alex Ferguson doesn't become who he is because Wenger came in and Ferguson was like, "Well, I've got to adapt how I play football
We're
now."
talking about he
he changed.
Yeah.
A lot of people say
So-
he changed the game in the
yeah, he
country.
did. So
modern
like-
British football.
Yeah, so
Revolution.
Ferguson was doing his thing. Wenger came in, changed it.
Jose came.
Mourinho came in, changed it. So
Yeah.
without, and even Pep. So without
Yeah.
those four,
Yeah.
we don't get where we are now.
Yeah,
Proper
100%.
little.
Yeah, but I'd say no. But like with Wenger, he changed the culture.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Mourinho
Yeah,
came in
okay.
and changed 4-3-3, etc.
And then Pep came and won the league without
with
striker.
tiki taka. So like I left out Klopp because he didn't really make like fundamental footballing changes.
Wow,
like
Liverpool
a style
man
of
like
football.
this, he's fair.
Yeah, like
No, this week.
Oh,
We have
like,
guests.
I'm always fair.
No, I'm
But
joking. Easy.
Yeah, and I think that Wenger needs a lot of credit for football being where it is now, and to say he's not a footballing person because he doesn't,
Sit down and have a drink after.
Yeah.
and like make certain
It was
changes that you
personal,
would have
wasn't
changed.
it?
Yeah,
Definitely
it was
personal.
personal.
Your quote,
and,
that was personal.
yeah, and if you take like football in its totality and what it means to play for someone and look after your body, etc., he's a football man because he's extended the careers of lots of players,
He's-
as we said.
Definitely a football man because everyone that knows him says this guy is obsessed with football. All he does is watch tapes of players, watch games. He has no social life. So
Yeah, that's why he said he couldn't do the national team because it wasn't regular.
Oh, that every
Yeah,
day
he
sort
couldn't
of-
every
yeah,
day.
every day.
And to your point about Souness and what his idea of football is, all these years I was thinking, why is this guy like this? Why does he say these things? Then I saw a clip of him
Oh,
playing
you
one
didn't-
time.
you didn't
Bruv,
know?
it's mad.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
kicking, man.
He
innit?
could
No,
play though.
seriously.
but
It was 30 seconds
Kicking.
of him just running around,
Kicking.
Lumps.
literally kicking players, just diving into
Mad.
tackles, running from one man to the other, and they were just passing the ball. And I said, okay, that's why. And then his fallout at Blackburn was because I think it was Dwight York nutmegged him or something, and then he's 2-footed Dwight York
But
or something like that.
he did that at Liverpool with who's the guy that you signed from West Ham? Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he talks
Yeah.
about
He
that,
was the
doesn't he?
manager. Yeah, that's
he
the
talks
one.
about that,
He
yeah.
nutmegged him, and then he just saw red,
Yeah, head loss.
and then But funny what Souness has said, or the cheekiness. He was saying that Wenger didn't come into his dressing room after or have a. So that's got to do with your style and your man-to-man
Yeah.
management.
Mm.
Wenger is, bro, when it comes to man-to-man management, like the way he's extended careers, the way a lot of players even call him like a dad, a father.
Yeah,
figure.
father figure.
This guy is the guy that came from Rangers, upset Ian Rush with the contracts at Liverpool. Like, I know he won the FA Cup, but he even said, I've got so much regrets the way that I behaved
Handled
and I
things,
did
yeah.
things. You upset Andy Cole at Blackburn. You had your own players at Newcastle beefing each other. That was with
Oh, Bowyer and
Did he do the mad thing with the Galatasaray flag
Yeah,
as
but he
well?
got the-
yeah,
yeah,
the mad thing with the
yeah.
Galatasaray thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is
he,
he
Yeah.
actually said he regretted it the
Yeah.
moment he did.
Yeah, yeah.
I slightly rate it still.
it's sick, but bruv, you can't be doing them things in that kind of
No, I
country.
know.
Slight-
But
little bit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's
But for me,
he's
there's a
nuts.
wider point because we talked a little bit. I can't remember if it was an episode before or last where I have this issue. All these journalists are getting on this moral sandbox about the money in the game, blah blah blah. Because it's that same money that means that all of you guys can get paid to talk rubbish like this.
Mm.
You know, there's a wider thing now where
True.
we've got too many voices who are not necessarily there to either give analysis, talk properly on the game, or actually just be honest about what direction they are coming for the game.
Mm.
Like I say to people, listen, I'm just a fan that loves the game.
Yeah.
I'm very, very aware that I've not taken any coaching badges and I've not played 1 minute of professional football in my life.
Talking about it.
Yeah, we're just like talking about it. But when you have people like him who have played the game a long time ago, there's not even an ounce of realization that, listen, I'm disconnected from that now. He's not managed in I don't know how long. When was the last time he managed?
No,
2006, I want to say. Yeah, 2006.
one of my
Newcastle.
recent gripes with him was
So almost 20 years he hasn't managed.
when I think it was when Iriola got the job from O'Neill, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He was on one of the podcasts and he's like, "What do you know about the English game?" Rare. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you went to Galatasaray in '95 when they weren't even dial-up. What did you know about the Turkish league? All the
No, but his
resources.
English is fine. He's British, he's fine, right?
Yeah,
See,
and I was
I played
thinking
for
like,
Liverpool. I can
Yeah.
go and teach the
All the-
Turkish
He played in
guys
Serie A,
something.
though. I
But
think
all
that
the
was-
resources that Iriola had before he got the job, he would know Bournemouth better than someone that lives in Bournemouth.
I
you
know
what
disrespect to Bournemouth, What do you need to know about the English game to go and manage at Bournemouth?
Yeah.
He's not managing Manchester United. However, what I will say is a nice segue. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, because my good friend Ed over there. Yeah, when because we had the same argument on the pod. Do you remember when O'Neill got fired? Everyone said it's out of order, and I've got this big thing. I think me and you have talked about this. I've got this big thing about football is the only industry where if you're not doing bad, it's mad if they make a change.
Yeah.
They can't say, actually, we want to do something different, so we're moving you on. So Ed was adamant that Irela was going to fail to the point where we had a bet.
I lost money, man. Painful.
I like O'Neill though.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah,
but,
yeah,
but
yeah.
and I wasn't saying O'Neill was wrong.
And he did a good job.
What I was saying is, and look, it's their prerogative, it's their club, but they said, you know what? Thank you, you did a good job keeping us up, but the direction we want to go, we want to happen in a certain way with a certain type of player, blah. And they could have been wrong, and it could have been people in their ear, whatever. But just because he did a good job doesn't mean that they can't now get someone else. Thank you, give him his money, and you've now got a platform to get another job, which is how we got the Wolves job. I don't think he gets the Wolves job without the Bournemouth job.
Yeah.
You're right. But what I was going to say is the reason why I was so against what they did is we've seen this movie before where they sack the English manager. It's not even so much about it being him being English, but they sack a manager that's good for the club, go and get the fancy name or try to get this continental style going, and they get relegated. And I was thinking, to be fair, it was touch and go, like. I know you won in the end, but you were thinking, boy,
No, wait,
Started
that's
bad.
not true.
it
That's
started,
not
bad.
How can it be? Wait. What was the bet? Tell everyone what the bet was.
The bet was Iriola won't get over 40 points.
Right? When did they
That's
get
the
40 points?
relegation base, isn't it? Like,
I was like, I didn't think he was going to
They
be
got a
relegated.
decent
but
total, right?
they got what?
decent total.
40, what did they get? 43 or something? What did they get?
Nah, they were higher up than that, no?
Don't worry, I'll go check.
They were higher up than that.
Let's
But-
check it
but-
out.
but- run in it of like 12 games
yeah,
in the
one
field,
one thing I would say though is to John's point, sometimes they could have been looking at that manager for a little while, and that manager now becomes available. Now, sometimes opportunity, they may not necessarily have got the chance to double down and do that again. So sometimes it's like, we know we've wanted him, he's been in the plan, he's now available. Yes, we've been able to have someone else, then we're essentially kind of like, this is the time to do it. Gary O'Neill's done a good job, he's kept us where we need to be kept, but actually, this is the plan that we've got for 2 and 3 years. So sometimes we need to commend that. Obviously, if it doesn't go well, which we've seen like Pellegrini and like David Moyes, that's a great example of they had to circle back and be like, hey, David, like come back in. Palace as well. But I think what you do need to do is think that with the Bournemouth, we've spoken about them a lot of their decisions have been like with a long-term focus and a long-term lens as well. So to bring him in and to double down on him, they must have seen something, and as a result.
And he was probably not even the only one. There's probably a short list of like 3 or 4. And then, like you said, he's the one that became available. They got 48 points and finished 12th.
I know.
Let's
6 places above the relegation
What's me a
zone.
score, man?
Yeah, man.
So
Just
let's
say,
circle back with the
Souness.
sooner. Yeah, look at me, show my age now. I'm forgetting. But let's circle back with that because although it was very spiteful comments, what I don't want to do, because I know we're getting a bit heated and questioning what he will bring to it. But you got to look at a TV show, for Sky, for example, and you're trying to hit different demographics here. So to make a good show, if everybody is at that stage now, you got to have them old school. This is a guy that's won 5 league titles for Liverpool, 3 European Cups. Is there? So he's needed in a show like that. For
Debatable.
viewers. Yeah, no, with me and you, it's not for us.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're not the only football
Yeah, but-
supporters.
no,
You're gonna
and
get
you're
the
right.
older, probably generate. Sometimes when he's speaking, it's the same thing. It's pure physicality. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But remember, it is entertainment.
Yeah.
We're all thinking, let's get the best pundits because they know ball. If you guys are still thinking that,
No,
Sure.
not necessarily.
No,
but
yeah,
you
so
can
that's
have a
probably why
mix,
he
right?
gets
You
it.
can have like a Micah and whatever. But I
That's what
guess
he does.
my whole thing with the whole Souness thing, I don't even mind that he said that. But don't, he tried to almost make it seem like there was sound rationale for it. Just be honest and say, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Just,
He tried to make it like it was final. It's like,
Like
this
it was
is
very,
what Wenger is.
and
innit?
he
like,
tried to give you the Jenga blocks to build it. No, just be honest and say I don't like him.
he should have.
And those are the kind of pundits I respect because there are pundits that will say it straight. I never liked the guy. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
So that's
Now I know how to view the lens. But don't try and be like, yeah, I was on the bench and heard what he told players. I was on Sky and he made.
I
was.
think,
And
you know, I think when you say that Wenger's not a football man, Of all the things you could have said, you could have said he was a bad loser. You could have
He's
said he
not-
made
he's
scenes
not-
efficient.
Which he was.
Like,
Yeah.
like he's not sportsman. Like, there's so many things you could have said. To say he's
Yeah,
not a
the wrong
football
phrase
man is the like
Crazy.
it's the worst thing you could have said. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it just really does show a lot about you as a man rather than anything else.
When they cut the cameras and everyone was like, "You're crazy," but that's gonna do well. It's gonna go viral.
Yeah,
She said,
of course.
I'm gonna say
That's
it's
the clip.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Gets
This
the
is
people
what you-
going.
Yeah, the impressions on that
Yeah.
one is gonna be
Would have
high.
been crazy. Well, listen, guys.